what I would say is that if Chelsea are going to progress as a team, they need to sell Enzo Fernandez. Why you guys not talking about the real flop of the season? Rashford's Oiland. Rashford's Oiland.
You can't gaslight me.
How do you call it Oiland a flop?
You can't gaslight me.
He is a flop. Are you guys forgetting that it took this guy months to get his first Premier League goal? Who is the most overrated player of the season for you guys?
This is where I come in. McAllister. Alexis McAllister. I'm not coming here as in case of agenda. Yeah, they have always pushed this narrative of he plays as a 6, he's limiting his potential. When he plays as a 8, he's the best midfielder in. They are just around a certain circle where they don't know where they stand.
Moses Caicedo, Tchouameni, and Declan Rice. You are a manager. Start one, sell one, sub one. Caicedo, Tchouameni, Declan Rice.
I would sell the guy who now looks like the late Mobad. I'll sell Caicedo.
Hello, wonderful guys. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the lovely podcast, Football or Nothing. And of course, we are here to have fun today because the Premier League, after an intense season, finally comes to a close. City are champions. Prosper Westman is still in a bad mood. You can see that he's not in a very good mood today. We know the reason. Manchester City, they have just ruined my guy's mood.
they never did. I accepted my fate since the Villa game, so they never did. No.
You sure that you did?
I'm aware of my fate since the Villa day, so they never did.
So we'll be talking about a whole lot of things today. The Bayern Leverkusen, who have done the unthinkable, finishing the German Bundesliga unbeaten. We'll be talking about them. We'll be talking about some farewells that happened in England. Roberto De Zerbi has gone, Klopp has gone, David Moyes has gone as well. And of course, Chelsea, their late resurgence into the season. We'll be talking about that as well. And we have H2O in the building as well. You're calm as you like. H2O is in the building. So, guys, I want us to start with that Bayern Leverkusen. This is the first time in the history of the German Bundesliga that a team will go the entire season unbeaten. You know, this is such a very, very big feat to achieve. At the start of the season, nobody would have predicted this to happen. H2O, let me start from you. Do you think that what they have achieved this season, do you think that as a team, do you think is a step in the right direction for them? Don't you think that the pressure will be much going to next season? Do you think that they can sustain that pressure next season?
Kudos to Bayern Leverkusen first. They've done wonderfully well this season. But just like you said, the pressure that comes along, you know, you set a particular standard.
Yeah.
So it's now left for you to live up to that standard. Do you understand? And they have a coach. We should not forget one thing. It is Xabi Alonso's first season, which means first full season. Meaning he's going to face odds. His first full season, he did not really face those odds. So you should be expecting that coming next season, all teams will be on him because he is the team to beat. Bayer Leverkusen is the team to beat. If you remember Leicester's Ranieri then, after that season, the following season, it was all about, you know, you have to live up to it.
Where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there? You understand? So I feel like the pressure will be there, no doubt. It's now left, and I think that is why Xabi Alonso felt, I think it's not the right time I should move
to Madrid.
Let me experience what will happen on the next stage, and let me see if I will be able to handle that pressure. Because regardless of whatever he might have done this season, let's not forget, we football fans, we are kind of like we deal with recency bias.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what you've done.
They don't care about what you've done, what you have to do in the future. It's about now.
They tend to forget things easily.
We don't really. This season will be over. It's already over. By the time we are coming into next season, yes, we know you won the Bundesliga last season. The next thing is, yes, what do you have for us this season? We expect the same thing and more from you because you are going into the Champions League and they like. So I feel like the pressure will be there, and at the same time, will they be able to hold on to their players? That is another thing to consider. In as much as the presidents might be saying, okay, we hold on to Fabian Wirtz and everything, but we all know that they won't really, except, you know, Xabi Alonso is very good with, I think, players. I think that's what
Man management.
I think that's what brought about what happened this season.
And talking about that man management, there is a statistics that back that up that says they have scored 33 goals in all competition this season after that 80-minute mark. So when the game enter into its final stages, that's when they seems to enter into another J. Prosper, I don't think that has to do with anything tactical.
It's not about tactical, it's about mentality. Yeah. And then again, that pattern is not sustainable.
Ability to
finish. Because we saw it with your team this season, where at a point, yeah, you felt it was mentality monsters. Yeah, these mentality monsters were there, but at a point, it would never be sustainable. I saw it with my team also last season. I don't know if you get.
But Bayern Leverkusen have been able to do it.
They have been able to do it this season. Where do they go from there next season? The thing is this, like you said, you set a standard, yeah. Anything outside finishing in the Champions League position for top four next season for Xabi Alonso is a failure. Yeah. I don't know if you get. You've requested for the smoke and the smoke is not there. Yeah, I don't know if you get. You need to light the fire burning. You need to keep the fire burning. And for me, yeah, I feel those 33 goals, you might not be lucky every day. Next season, everyone now knows, okay, this is what they do. During the end of the game, oh, this is it. This is it. So I feel like they should have that ability to kill the game earlier. Just kill the game and let it go. Do
you guys think they can actually do that unbeaten treble?
No.
Because they are not. They are just 2 games away from achieving what has never been done.
As at the time recording.
As at the time recording.
Yeah. So for me, yeah, I don't think it would be that case. But
so you have a feeling that they will lose either of the DFB Pokal final.
No, they might win those DFB Pokal and the Europa League final. But where do they go from there next season? I don't see them having this Santa Claus run. I don't see them.
Well, I still believe, regardless, you know, what we know Bundesliga has always been about Bayern Munich. You understand? So eventually, the next thing that comes close is Borussia Dortmund. So like they can't be in the conversation. As far as, you know, going into next season, the belief is still there. It's just like something that works with Arteta now. It's like we know we can do it. Sure, you get. It doesn't really matter. We can just carry this belief on to next season. So I feel like there is that pattern of play for them. There's that structure. So that is why
their recruitment will be easier to make during the summer.
And at the same time, you see that considering this issue of them scoring in the last minute, it's because there is a structure. It's like Manchester. When you're watching Manchester City as an example, they played the whole game. You know that regardless, even if they've not scored as at 80 minutes, you still believe, yes,
they can still do it.
So there's that structure on ground, and I feel like if they can just build on that more, and just like you said, finish the game earlier. But you know, everybody is not here to play, so you know, some cases might not actually work like that. But then again, kudos to them.
But time will tell. Time will tell if they can actually go there. And that's about the Bundesliga champions. We have a new champion in the English Premier League. Let me say, they are no stranger to it anymore.
They are not new.
They are not new.
They are not City boys.
I should have put it in the Kings have retained their crown.
That's the right word.
That's the right word to use.
Because if you watch the mini snippets came out from the dressing room, the writing on the wall on their dressing room this season was no team has won 4 English Premier League titles yet. So anytime they step in there, Guardiola reminds them, you see the thing here, we need to do it.
And I'm talking about no team has ever won it 4 times in a row. Yeah. There are some teams that have done it 3 times in a row.
Yeah, definitely.
We have Sir Alex Ferguson, Manchester United. They did it from 2006 to 2009. Yeah. They won it back to back. We have Liverpool have done it 1981 to 1984. Arsenal have done it between the year 1932 and 1935. Huddersfield Town has also done it between 1923 and 1926. Wow. So, which means there are legacies in England, and right now Pep is winning everybody's legacy.
He's defining the odd.
He's changing the game. Do you think that this is the greatest manager we have ever seen in football?
I would keep saying it. I'm not a Pep fanboy. I've learned more from him than I've learned from the person I stand, which is Jose Mourinho, because of his dark art and all of that. But Guardiola is the greatest that has ever been, because he's a working brain. I feel like he has placed the Premier League to his level where he plays us as God mood. He decides to win the league. There was never a Pep and Klopp era. It's Pep and Co. He decides to join him next. Yeah, it's Pep and Co. He decides, okay. There was a recent interview he did a week ago. He said, one thing that is certain for him is him waking up from sleep and knowing Arsenal would still contend with him the next season. It's just like he goes into the market and pick, okay, it's your turn to contend with me. Come chill with the big boys. And after that, he stinks you out. And he plays God mood with the league.
The way he sees the game, I was watching one of his pressers. He said, the way he sees that West Ham game is like, in the first 25 minutes, they will be 3-0 up.
Yes.
And they nearly did that. If not for Haaland, who missed a sitter,
yes.
they could have gone 3-0 up at 25 minutes.
He plays a God mood, and he's a working brain. It's just a brain in human form.
So what I see Guardiola is like the AI in football.
Artificial intelligence.
Like,
That's the right word.
He knows. There's something about. I do say something. I say football is not that concrete. Do you understand? In as much as we have the likes of Ancelotti that gives player the freedom, it's like Guardiola has a plan where I have seen the goal. It's like when he had Messi, he said one thing he loves about Messi is that Messi knows how to smell goal. Like, he knows that yes, at this point in time, a goal is going to happen. That is one quality Messi has. So to Guardiola, it's like, by the time you do this analysis, and it's like, if you are passing to this and you're passing to this, I'm expecting the opponent to react this way. So definitely, if the opponent is reacting this way, it's like I see him as a programmer that already knows how to write his code. You understand? So that's why I call him like the AI of football. So he's like robotic football. But then again, he has revolutionized, like he has brought a revolution to modern football.
He has
rebranded football. Like, it's just not, yes, you can have the players, but at the same time, a coach can actually define the real style of play without players' input.
And some traditional Premier League fans would argue that no matter what he does, he will never reach the level of Sir Alex Ferguson. I want to ask you guys, if you think that if Sir Alex Ferguson and Pep Guardiola were to be in the same league, if Sir Alex Ferguson was still coaching right now, don't you think that he will have ruined all Sir Alex Ferguson's
we saw a young Pep Guardiola at Barcelona had Sir Alex Ferguson shaking on his seat.
I feel like that was...
He defeated him in 2 European finals.
I feel like that was a one-off game. Do you understand? Remember, I think Barcelona played, but it was not Guardiola. I think it was the previous coach or so. So the way I see it here is that if Ferguson had been in the conversation in these days, I'm not saying Guardiola won't win. He will definitely win trophies, like even the Premier League. But one thing I know Ferguson might be able to get over the line is that fact that we are Manchester United. You know, that branding, the name, Sir Alex Ferguson. This is what we represent. You don't need to tell us. It's like, you know, the year Mancini, the year Manchester United and Man City had to the last day, the Aguero.
That was during Mancini era.
It was not like Manchester United were nothing special as compared to City. Remember that year City defeated us, I think it was 6-0, where Balotelli, I think it was Balotelli. That stuff. We were not that special. But because of the name, and
now,
of course,
let's you remember something here. Pep evolved according to who his competitor is. The thing is this, he always makes a statement that Klopp brought out the best version of him. I don't know if you get. Once Ferguson is there to push a certain Pep Guardiola, trust me, you will see a different
Pep
version.
Guardiola.
Because each season, I've noticed a pattern in his thing. Each season, he evolves.
Yeah.
He evolves. He keeps evolving and keeps evolving. And I don't think Aura does not play football alone.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Modern day football, it's all about what you do process on the pitch.
Let me put this way. Something about Guardiola is, yes, he might have an idea of football against the likes of RDZ, like Roberto Di Serbi, Klopp, because he knows those guys also think kind of like they have their own style. But something about him is that Guardiola can't really face off with someone with no strategy. Someone with an example of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Guardiola said this himself, I don't know how to prepare against a coach like Ole Gunnar because we
No,
don't know
I
how
want
they're
to put
going
him at the spot. So would you say Sir Alex Ferguson never had strategies?
I'm not saying he does not have strategy, but with a manager with that much experience, you know, after that final, Alex Ferguson said so. He said he made a mistake during the final by not putting someone on Messi because he believed there's nothing special about let's just play our football and go. And eventually that cost him the title, you know, back to back. But then again, Guardiola is a very, very great manager. And to me, I'm saying something right now that Pep staying is a very, very big threat to Sir Alex legacy.
That was what I was about to say. Because if Pep
If
should
you say-
spend the amount of years Ferguson has spent in England, he will slap and wash every record he has.
And I can confidently say it that I think God saved Sir Alex Ferguson from disgrace and embarrassment.
He
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah.
Especially with that Mancini year and everything.
The thing is,
If
knowing
he
when
had
to leave.
stayed,
He knew when to leave.
Yes,
He knew when to leave.
and that was
and
what
the fact
helped him.
that he challenged, one of the reasons we are seeing Pep on God mood, as personally, my own personal, I feel like the fact that Ferguson challenged him. You know, Ferguson said a couple of things about Guardiola when he arrived in England.
Yeah.
And they asked Guardiola and he said, I'm here now. We would see. It
Yeah.
was more like, oh, you've challenged me now, let's see.
I will quote that Ferguson statement. He said he's welcome to England, but he won't find the English league so easy.
He has made it in the Farmers League.
He has turned it to a farmers
Farmers
league.
League.
I think everybody can beat their chest.
Six league in 7 years.
Yeah, and we can beat our chest that going into next season, they are the favourites.
They are
to do it
obviously
again.
favourites.
Definitely.
They are obviously favourites. It's Pep's word. He decides to win.
Do you think the Premier League is losing its potency?
It-
Can we see call this league the best
You
league in
see,
the world?
at this point, yeah, the rest of us battle for top 4. Yeah, you get me. You battle for second, third, and fourth, and
So I feel like one thing the Premier League should take note of, and like the whole team in Premier League, is that what Guardiola, in as much as Guardiola is a very, very good super coach, not even good again, a very super coach at this point, Guardiola tries on the fact that there is a good system that is backing him up in terms of the structure, the project Man City is going through. If you look at Arteta now, that is one thing Arteta is also banking on. You can see this is like the second season now. He's going head to head with Man City. When you look at every other team in the Premier League, they are not at that level. It's like Manchester United don't even know what they are doing. Chelsea, they just bought players without even thinking of what are we actually trying to do. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I feel like if other teams can set, you see, Ange as an example
yeah,
now,
Postecoglou.
is having an issue with the mentality
of
Tottenham
Tottenham
Hotspur
Hotspur.
as a whole. You understand? So you can't be competing just like you said earlier about you are competing. It is only Arsenal that took the most point out of City. The other teams, what were they doing? They were busy playing around. Tottenham couldn't even hold on to Man City in the last few days, just to the end of the time. You understand? So I feel like if other teams can step up in terms of structure, because when you look at Premier League now, the likes of Aston Villa are making top 4. Newcastle made top 4 last season. So where are the big guns? Where are the supposed big guns? We have Chelsea, not even in the top 4 for like how many seasons now? United only made top 4 last season. The season before, so they have not been anywhere near it. Liverpool, I think last season they had an issue.
Yeah.
And this season
They
they were
finished
able
top
to
four.
make top
Top
4.
four.
But regardless, you can still say Liverpool as, Liverpool is just getting a new coach. And this is the issue I have with people getting new coaches.
You don't
While you are getting new coaches, Man City is spending another year with
Pep Guardiola.
Arsenal is spending another year with
with
Arteta.
Mikel.
Who do you think is going to have the edge? You already have that relationship. They have that
connection,
template,
that
template
structure,
already.
that
So it's just a matter of just take out one person and let
they know what to
that
do.
person.
They know what to do. It's more like Ange coming into Liverpool right now. In as much as you are a tactical, you don't really know who is going, who is leaving.
Who is
I
leaving.
don't know if you get with Pep and Arteta right now. They know who is getting out of their system. They know who is staying. They know who they are
And you
getting.
don't know what to expect.
You don't know what to expect.
You don't know what to
So-
expect. And a manager can be even good tactically, and you have a lot of other aspects of the job that might be
they are
terrible
not
at.
good at.
So when we are talking about those managers, Roberto De Zerbi, Jurgen Klopp, David Moyes, they are all leaving England.
Wow.
And
Wow.
these are three
Influential managers.
three influential managers.
It's a big loss to the league.
It's a big loss. No, in as much as I might be a club protagonist. I've learned a lot from Jurgen Klopp
I myself
about the heavy metal football, the pressing, and all of that. And it made me understand that relationship, not just in football, like in life relationship, having good relationship with people takes you far.
It's key to success.
Most of its success you can attribute it to is good relationship with his players. And then with Roberto De Zerbi, I learned a whole lot about baiting the press, the build-up structure. I felt like De Zerbi had a bit of influence in the English Premier League because you now see everybody wants to use the +1, bait press, put your stud on the ball and all of that. And with David Moyes, what can I say? The man who can just sit back, wait on transition, overload, and all of that. I feel like like you said, it's a great loss because you are losing Klopp and you are bringing a Postecoglou. You are losing a David Moyes. You are bringing a John Lutupegi as at this time recording. That is the favorite to get the job. And for Brighton, we don't even know what to expect.
Yeah, with that Brighton, I think this fan base has now been split into two from what I heard from reliable sources. Now, among the fan base, there are some people who are of the opinion that bring back Graham Potter.
Yeah.
Some people are of the opinion like bring in McKenna, this Ipswich Town coach.
And some are not even with Roberto De Zerbi.
Roberto De Zerbi. And I think the moment Roberto started falling off with the board at Brighton was that moment when Klopp announced that he's leaving. Roberto thought he was going to be the favourite for the Liverpool job. So I think that was the moment he started drifting away from that from the board. He
has always placed himself on the market. If you look and watch his press conference, he placed himself on the market indirectly that I'm available, I'm here. And if you look, there was a time he faulted Brighton board for not replacing Caicedo and McAllister the way they should have. I don't know if you get. This is a manager trying to come out to say, I'm this good, but this club is restricting my potential. I don't know if you get.
I think a team like Brighton wants a project manager, not a very ambitious manager. Let me put it that way. I think we need to put it that way.
Yeah.
And talking about that ambitious manager, David Moyes, I think West Ham fan base are the most ungrateful fan base in England. This man brought you from shambles. The team was in shambles when David Moyes came back. He brought you back into Europe. Not only that, he won the the first Conference League after so many years of winning the European competition. He won it for them. Not only that, he brought them back into the Europa League and the likes. I think this season they were in around.
They were defeated by Bayern Leverkusen, and there's no shame being knocked out by Bayern Leverkusen.
And
they finished in a very decent position in the table.
Yeah, I think they finished in the top half of the year, English Premier League table. So I think they have been so very ungrateful to David Moyes. Fingers crossed, Lopetegui, you didn't have a very good stint at Wolverhampton,
at Madrid also,
at Madrid, Sevilla. So fingers, I'm not sure Lopetegui is the right man.
Sometimes some football clubs, I don't really understand what they are trying to do, in the sense that you look like it's a team like West Ham, just like you were saying about Brighton as an example. You know you don't want an ambitious manager, you understand? So definitely, someone like RDZ can't work for you guys, because eventually, just like you're saying, he was actually portraying himself, because he felt like with this. My capability with what I have shown so far, definitely a big team should come for me. You understand? So with the likes of Moyes as an example, in as much as his spell before West Ham might not have been great, but now what he's done as West Ham should. When I heard that he has been like he'll be going, I was wondering
what is West Ham actually doing?
Is there a reason why you guys are telling me like? In this current market, yes, we might be believing, okay, there's a coach out there. See, let me tell you, for me, it's just better that when you have a manager and considering the status of your club, it's not like as if you are a Manchester
United. The thing is, the overachieving of these clubs have gotten into their head, and they feel like they are at a certain level. And I don't know if you get.
There is always this argument among West Ham fan base that they have players who are like world-class potentials. David Moyes' strategy is restricting them. And I don't think so, because Mohamed Kudus came in, and this season he has more than over 25 goals contribution. That's commendable for someone like Kudus. Jared Bowen is doing fine.
See Jared Bowen as a Code Palmer or Bukayo Saka or Musala. I don't know.
I don't understand. So I don't understand why they are really grieving. So I think going into next season, I just want them to, personally, I want them to crumble. so I can laugh at them. I really want them to do
I think some players will even be someone like Paqueta.
Lucas Paqueta
is on the trail of Manchester City.
Yeah. And Mohamed Kudus, fingers crossed. I don't think he will be there next season. Mohamed Kudus.
I think he will still be there.
There are a couple of good players that might leave.
I think he'll still be there for now.
Okay, so we talk about Chelsea. It's a very interesting conversation to have because at the start of the season, it was a little bit shaky. I remember we had a conversation on this podcast as well, where we were talking. I think that was where we were talking about them. You stood in for Pochettino there.
That's what I always do. I put my balls on the line.
So Prosper Westman stood in for Pochettino there. He was labeled as a controversial guy, but I think right now you're being vindicated, right?
A lot of things.
How is he vindicated?
Because right now going to the business end of the season, Chelsea have been doing fine, and I think one thing I will say to everybody right now is Chelsea have not been bad as we have painted them to be. There is a stat I saw about them this season. They said they've just lost one of their last 12 Premier League matches. And in 2024, they are fifth on the table in terms of form-wise. They are fifth on the table. And when you look at throughout the season, expected points tally, they are around in the top four.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole season, expected point tally. I'm not saying the points accumulated right now. Expected points tally, which means they are performing, but they are not getting the goals. They have been the better opponent most of the time. Against any opposition.
If you've watched Chelsea game, let's move banter aside. If you've watched Chelsea games this season, most times they lose games due to lack of that final third composure. That lack of final third composure. Now you are saying how was I vindicated? This was the Chelsea that we were calling, your legend called them £1 billion bottle job boys. They were 12th position. They were shuffling 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 11 and all of that. And right now they secured the Europa League spot ahead of you, who had a chance to be in top 4. I'm not coming at you.
We are even coming for them.
If you've looked at the trajectory of how they started and where they are right now, it's success. Comparing where they were last season. When did they finish last season?
Why I'm saying you've not been vindicated is that what was your expectation for a team that invested in players? The reason why we were holding them was because you spent $1 billion and you are still in 12th. 11th.
I want to say
this current position they are in is not coming in as a surprise.
It's a surprise.
To me, it's not a surprise. It's like you made investments. Who made more investment than Chelsea?
H2O. Can you beat your chest in January that Chelsea will finish in the top 6?
Would you have beaten your chest that Chelsea will finish?
Would you place your bet on it?
What you are trying to say now? You are trying to say when the season started. I'm telling you that throughout this season, the expectation for Chelsea is not where they are now. You spent almost $1 billion.
What was their expectation for Chelsea?
I don't know what their expectation was, but definitely not bottom half or not in the top 4.
Okay, for you, they are now.
For me, they are where. They are not even where I believe they are supposed to be.
Where do you believe they should be?
I don't know for them. I believe they should be in the top half of the table. Aston Villa is there, and they don't even have investments like they do in terms of football qualities.
Now,
I'm talking like in terms of.
Do you recognize the fact that this is Pochettino's first season with the squad? The Aston Villa you mentioned, this is Unai Emery's second or third season with the team. And now, these players were recruited by the board and not the manager.
That is not an excuse on the fan aspect. That is for Chelsea to claim. That's why I was saying Chelsea don't even eventually know what
and I think talking about that recruitment, one thing that I would say this resurgence of Chelsea, I will attribute it to a blessing in disguise. You know why I said that? Immediately Enzo Fernandez got injured. I think that was the guy.
That was the point there.
I think because prior to Enzo's injury, it was always a midfield of Caicedo and Enzo. And now with Enzo out of the team, it gave them the chance to push Cucurella into a double pivot with Caicedo. Then the star man of the show, Gallagher, who is so very, very instrumental to what they are doing. You need to push him up there because you want him to be up there in the final third.
Even with the Enzo and Caicedo, they had this dysfunctional midfield that we were complaining about United. There was so much space in the Chelsea midfield, and when Cucurella came in, his ball carrying ability, his ball progression, he was able to cover a lot of ground and cover a lot of flaws that were in that area of the pitch.
And immediately Moses Caicedo looked like the Moses Caicedo they signed from Brighton.
Remember when we had this conversation at the beginning of the season? In as much as I don't really rate Pochettino as a coach, and I don't hide that. Remember I said the issue is not Chelsea playing. It is actually Chelsea putting the ball in the back of the net. Because obviously we can see what they can do. But the issue was whoever was supposed to convert, which was someone in the case of Nicholas Jackson. Imagine Jackson had been the way he was towards the end of the season, start from the beginning of the season. We won't be saying this at this point in time. So it's not like as if I understand where you guys are coming from, but then again, I feel like for you to have made that kind of investment, I don't expect Toliboli to be saying, "Oh, I'm expecting a 6th position from you," or and Robert.
From the trajectory of a team who finished 10th last season,
if you know,
and you are in a transitional phase and a rebuilding phase, finishing in a Europa League spot for me, it's a success.
You know, there's a current conversation right now that they want to probably remove Pochettino or not. For you to know that they don't really see it as something like tangible to hold on to. You understand?
And what I would say is that if Chelsea are going to progress as a team, they need to sell Enzo Fernandez. They need to sell Enzo.
I have nothing to say. I will not speak.
Enzo Fernandez is affecting them. Once a big price coming for him in the summer, just cash out on him. You don't need Enzo Fernandez.
Don't you think they need to structure the team on pitch in a way that you can play to everybody's strengths?
Everybody's strength, yeah. That's the work.
That is one thing you should also think, because there's a thing that you can't have. They have this mentality of, because you have 200 million midfielders, both of them must start. I feel like it will be a case of more structuring the team the way it would benefit everyone and play everyone to their strength.
But then again, is it that Enzo has been the reason why Chelsea have not been winning games? You know what I want to say?
I know the agenda you are pushing.
You know why I say that? Because they had players up front that could not convert. Like you said, there has always been that play from Chelsea. They are playing good football. That was not the issue. So definitely, in as much as they are conceding, but they've been playing good football, meaning that they had issue with their final third.
Yeah.
So
I think, from my own personal opinion, is I think pairing Enzo and Caicedo in the midfield. Now, I think it needs to be restructured in the way that, look at Declan Rice, look at Jorginho. Okay. One complements the other. Now, if you want that Chelsea midfield to work, play Enzo as that number 6 who is going to stay. We all know him as a deep line playmaker. He can actually dictate play from deep. Put him there, then you play Caicedo like that Kante type of player, box to box. That would be a very perfect one.
That at a point, but I think they were using Enzo as the one ahead.
Yeah, and that is not going to work. That is not going to work. You need someone who is energetic, who is going to win those interceptions for you. Because if you want to play high line, look at what Arsenal are doing. If you look at this season, in the midfield, Arsenal's midfield, the one who has won the most interceptions is Declan Rice. They are winning the ball in the final third. They are progressing the ball up there. Yeah, because if you are going to play high line, you need to win the ball up the pitch. And I think that's what Chelsea needs to do. If Enzo is coming back into the team, let him stay back and let Caicedo do the roaming. But if you are allowing Enzo to do the roaming, Caicedo staying back, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So, Chelsea fan, if you want the team to progress, either you play Caicedo as a deep midfielder or you sell him.
And I think, like Prosper said, there shouldn't be that compulsory levy on that.
Their price tag means them.
Remember, there is a Lavia somewhere.
There's a Romeo Lavia somewhere.
You know, we're saying it that we don't understand how Enzo, Caicedo,
how the dynamics is going to work.
In your platform, I was having a conversation with a Chelsea fan and told him Chelsea lack squad planning, because most of the recruitment, I just sit down and ask myself, this youngster coming in, where does he fit in the picture?
Yeah. So imagine the only blessing I've seen to Chelsea this season. I like, is someone I feel like he deserves more praise than even what he's getting now. Cole Palmer. Imagine Chelsea did not get Cole Palmer.
And nobody was expecting that. Because exactly. I'm telling
Remember there was that picture where Cole Palmer was sitting down and people were like, this guy looks tired already.
If you ask an average Chelsea fan that
not an average Chelsea fan, ask me myself, I never expected it. Last season I watched him at City here. I was not impressed because I know the kind of youngsters I see come from the setup. Rico Lewis, Phil Foden and all of that. Then when he scored that goal against Arsenal at the Community Shield, I felt it was a fluke. It's just one of those, you know, just the way Anthony scored Arsenal, you know, those lucky things. But when I saw him at Chelsea, his first game, his second game, and I was like, no, I was wrong. There's a player here, but possibly Pep's restriction and his AI football limited a lot of things about him, and that boy is spectacular.
Let's hope Chelsea have a better 2024-25 season.
I hope
fingers crossed. But if they are going to progress, they still need to sell Enzo Fernandez. So the season has come to a close right now. So I think we need to do a quick rating of what happened during the season. So I'll ask you guys. I want you to tell me your own player of the season.
Okay, so in as much as I really appreciate Foden, he deserves it definitely. Of course, he won the title, but I feel like there is one player that I feel deserves more praise. I know he's not in the winning team, but at the same time, for putting his team into top 4, at the same time, people are not noticing something. A striker won the Playmaker Award of the year. Do you understand? So it's a slap on everybody's face.
On all playmakers, Kevin De Bruyne, Martin Odegarrd, Bruno.
It's a big slap because you can't have a striker. He performed very well doing his role, and at the same time,
he was one providing
assist. So Oli Watkins, to me, I feel deserves more praise. In as much as, you know, maybe because he's an Aston Villa player.
So in your books, Phil Foden shouldn't have won the player. If you are part of those organizers of the PFA Player of the Year, you will be giving it to Oli Watkins. Stand on your word.
Stand on your word.
Stand on your word.
No, like I don't want you to pick it as me saying
Foden does not deserve it.
You understand?
But the most deserving person,
the person that should be in that conversation, like I feel Oli Watkins deserves it.
Oli Watkins,
like I feel like he deserves it.
I was to go with this name because as a striker, winning the Playmaker of the Year award and being amongst the top goal scorers in the league, and then you helped your side finishing in the top 4. Nobody saw, even me myself. That was one of the predictions I got wrong. Going into the season, I never saw Aston Villa. I was of that opinion of, okay, they would eventually bottle it, they would eventually follow, and they kept that pressure, and you finished top 4.
And they were responsible for your team's downfall.
Yeah, they were responsible for my downfall also, and he kept that top 4 and all of that. For me, Oli Watkins is my player of the season. And non-penalty goals also. You should
definitely.
He does zero penalties, just the same as Phil Foden.
I think for me, it's no secret that I love Cole Palmer very well. So for me, I think if Chelsea had a decent campaign, probably maybe they pushed for the top 4. I think it will be Cole Palmer.
Wow. Yeah.
For me, sorry to say, I'm not saying Phil Foden is not a good player. Phil is a very good player, a decent footballer. But for me, I think the most deserving player of the season should go to Cole Palmer. Because of what he has done, he embraced that mantle of leadership. He stepped up big time. If it was not for Cole Palmer, I think Chelsea will not be where they are.
They would have been below Sheffield United.
Maybe they would
have created another position.
So, young player of the season for you too.
Young player of the season, I think who got it? I think
it was given to Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer, definitely Cole Palmer.
You're going for
Cole Palmer for that one.
For me, I would go with Cole Palmer because I have a statistics here that said Cole Palmer has directly been involved in 42% of Chelsea goals this season. And he has the most goal managed, the most goal contribution ever by debutant in a Chelsea shirt. For me, for that alone, for what he did for the club, and considering when Chelsea would have been without him and how influential he is to Chelsea team. Imagine taking 42% of Chelsea goals involvement away from them, where they would have been. So for me, I just give it to Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer. For me, he's my boy. I'll give it to him. The manager of the season. This is a big one.
This is a big one.
A big one.
I'm not really that big on most of the managers, but I don't really want to go for Emery. And I don't want to go for Guardiola, definitely. He's too constant with that. I think I should go with Unai Emery. I'm in between two managers, actually. I'm in between Unai Emery
Just pick
and
one.
Arsene. Sorry, I said Arsene.
As a winger.
Mikel
The
Arteta.
person I want to call is also Arsenal, related. Arteta, I think it's between those two, and I think I'd rather go for. I'll go for Emery for what he has done.
So you're going for Emery ahead of Pep Guardiola, who won the Premier League title.
Yeah, it's not a new thing anymore. We should be looking into people that are trying to do something.
But won't you give him credit for
Give
winning?
honor to
No.
honor.
Like I said from the start, I said I don't really want to go with Guardiola because I feel like obviously that's the general pick.
If you had gone with Pep, nobody would have crucified you.
No, I don't want to go with him. I'm getting to a point where AI football is annoying me.
What about your Prosper? Who is your manager of the season?
For me, it's no argument. It's obviously Joseph Pep Guardiola. You can't beat everybody to the league and you won't get your flowers from me now. I don't do that. I don't do such here. I don't do such.
For me, it will be a little bit controversial. For me, it's Andoni Iraola, the Bournemouth manager. For me, he's the manager of the season. For what he has done at Bournemouth, nobody expected that. In fact, at the start of the season, results were going against him.
They lost their first 9 games.
And what they achieved the highest points tally ever in their career, in their history, the highest point ever accumulated in their history. And this season, you can't play a Bournemouth side and you will not know that they are a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
they're going to give you a run for your money.
Yeah.
So
I can relate.
As a Man United fan, you can relate. So I think for me, it has to be Raola going for the manager of the season. For me, he's the manager of the season. And the unsung hero of the season.
For me, the unsung hero of the season, I would go for somebody nobody actually talks about. It would be Anthony Gordon. Because in the midst of the entire Newcastle injury, where there was no Isak, he played with injury all through and he carried them he had about over 20 goals. He had about 10 goals and 10 assists and all of that. And most of their penalties was won by him. So he was so instrumental to where Newcastle finished. I felt like he's the unsung hero of the season.
Yeah. What about you?
Man, I don't know why I have different players in my head, but I'll go with William Saliba of Arsenal.
William Saliba.
Considering the fact that
but would you say William Saliba is an unsung hero because everybody has always been singing his praises here and
do you know why I'm calling him as an unsung hero? He has not been recognized as because I think the team of the season or something.
He has been recognized. He was nominated for the.
But he did not make the final.
He was nominated for Player of the Season.
Yeah, he was nominated for Player of the season. In fact, he was nominated for Young Player of the Season as well. Yeah. So,
but then again,
you feel like he deserves more credit than he's getting.
Because
deserve more credits that by winning the Player of the Season. Is that what you're telling us?
I'm not saying player.
Unsung hero.
You can imagine people putting Van Dijk ahead of Saliba. I don't understand the basis you guys are putting.
Can he place Gabriel ahead of? I understand where he's instigating to.
I know why I'm bringing him out as because you remember last season it was one of the reasons we felt Arsenal were not able to push for it because they had injuries. But this season, having that much clean sheets with that partnership, of course,
and he played the most
as much as you can say,
he played every minute.
You can put Declan Rice.
But
then again, I know that the team of the season will be coming out, I think, very soon. And bet me, I'm very sure they won't put
you guys are only setting Saliba up for banter because last season you said Saliba was out of the team. Arsenal crumbled in the title race. This season he played almost every game, and
they had most clean sheets.
They had most clean sheets. At the end of the day, were they given the? It was just vivid imagination.
I understand.
We are coming from the place of banter, but let's continue. No, the comparison with him and Van Dijk being Van Dijk, that was why he made the video of trying to push an agenda of Gabriel against me. I understand.
But if I'm not putting Saliba, I'd rather. But since the team of the season is not about, I'll put Saliba.
Okay, so flop of the season.
Your unsung hero of the season.
My unsung hero of the season, that will be Dominic Solanke.
Wow.
Dominic Solanke.
Yeah.
I think people are forgetting that this boy has been in England for some time now, always having this.
I think he's your boy, right?
Yeah, he used to be a Liverpool boy. We all know that potential is in this boy, but will he ever reach that height that we expect him to reach? It's a big question. And this season, I think he did so well this season. He did so well this 19 goals in the English Premier League for a player playing for Bournemouth. That's
most,
commendable.
I
And
think the most by Bromont player in a single season.
the most by any player in the top half of the table.
Yeah.
The most by any player in the top half. I think that's commendable. Let's go to the flop of the season.
Wow. Is it in terms of signing or just
Flop this season. Big new signing, a player that's been there before. Just a flop this season.
I really can't put my head around a lot of players, but I think there are players I can put Rashford. There is Grealish, and I think there is this our boy too.
I would factor Grealish.
Okay, so who would you take? Just give me a name.
Let me just pick my boy. Because
who is that?
I'm a Rashford fan. You understand? So I've been heavily disappointed.
So you're going for one
Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. That's a good shout. I love that.
That's a good shot. And I'll go for somebody people will slay my head for. Yeah, Gabriel Martinelli. Having a 15 non-penalty goals campaign last season, and the way you were on form, and then this season you just came on and you started looking like Doku. And anytime you face a young defender,
why you guys not talking about the real flop of the season? Rashford's Oiland. Rashford's Oiland.
You can't gaslight me. You can't gaslight me.
He is a flop. Are you guys forgetting that it took this guy months to get his first Premier League goal? And he cost United a fortune to bring him.
As at the group stage, he was the highest goal scorer in Champions League.
Come on. Nunes first season. What was the goal tally for Nunes first season? No, what was the goal tally for Nunes first season?
I don't remember.
I think he has currently Rasmus has 16 goals or so for this season.
The expectation you are trying
to put an agenda which I will stand against. When Ochland was coming in, everybody knew he was going to be an understudy to somebody.
No, to who?
To Anthony Martial or them getting the older striker.
No. It wasn't part of the plan. Now
these guys has a higher conversion rate than your striker himself.
No. This guy is a flop that you guys.
How is it a flop?
Embrace that fact that Rasmus Højlund.
Give me 5 reasons why he's a flop.
He's a flop.
Give me 5 reasons why Rasmus Højlund is a flop.
A striker coming to mind. How much was it transfer fee?
I think it was close to 70 or so.
Close to 70, and you're telling me you're getting a player close to 70 million, and you're telling me that it's coming to be an understudy. Under who? That last season, I'm coming. Darwin Núñez cost about 70 million last season. Everybody tagged him as a flop, and all Liverpool fans. Everybody embraced that.
You are driving the agenda of using the yardstick for Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez was brought in to replace a certain legend, Bobby Firmino.
My friend, Rasmus Højlund.
I'm not your friend.
You can't be my friend and call Højlund a flop.
He is a total flop.
So let me put it as this way. So you are a Liverpool fan, yeah? So you can't really, in as much as I know where you want to see it from, it's not even where you are supposed to see it from.
How?
As a United fan, this was the plan. We were supposed to get Højlund, just like you said. It was supposed to be kind of
understudy.
Like some we are supposed, but because
understudy to who?
Anthony Martial.
No, it should. It's not an understudy.
He was brought in.
21 years.
This is his highest goal tally this season.
Now, what you're telling me, you want to bring in age. Now, Kopama is I think 21, and 22, and then Alan is young as well. Jude Bellingham is young as well. So if you are. So why
not ceiling?
So when it comes to Højlund, you guys want to bring age? You want to bring ages into the argument.
So
you want to bring ages into the argument.
Are you telling me that at the time we signed Højlund, you were giving him expectations of Haaland, Bellingham, or the like?
But at least you will give him an expectation of banking at least 15 Premier League goals this season.
He has 15 Premier League
15 Premier League goals
overall.
this season.
He has more than 15 Premier League.
No,
goals.
we're talking about Premier League.
Do you know in Premier League he has the highest conversion rates?
Conversion rate, how many goals? That's funny.
The thing is, conversion rate stats is misleading. Also,
do you know why I say it is misleading? Because he really gets that chance to he really gets chances created for himself. You understand? And that is why whenever he gets those chances, he's always.
I want to buy.
You remember?
If you want to know, I want to ask if you have to use the yardstick of price tag and whatever, then your Dominic Szoboszlai is a flop also.
Yeah, he's a flop. Definitely.
You agree to that?
Yeah,
then
he's
a flop.
He's a flop. Rasmus Højlund is a flop. You can't tell me Manchester United are going to sign a player of 70 million and they will expect him not to bang in goals. You are only trying to protect him because he's your boy. But this season,
what are you expecting?
from Rashford Soilon.
Yeah.
I was expecting at least minimum of 15 goals.
You were deluded with your expectations.
Even
Why?
Rashford,
Yeah, you
even
are-
Rashford,
Why? Because we
Rashford highest goal tally.
we-
I don't think he has exceeded 15, more than 15 goals.
you
in like how many
you guys are bringing in a striker to improve your team. Was that not what
He was brought in to develop.
No,
as
not-
an understudy.
not
You are not getting it.
if you are
You not
getting
understanding.
a player who is going to develop, you don't get it for that
Well,
amount. You don't get it for that amount.
Well, for a team that has
You-
Darwin Núñez, I
you don't get
understand
it
where
for
you're
that
coming
Yeah, I
amount.
don't understand the
If you,
agenda.
if you are getting a player who
No
is going to be
problem.
a developer, you don't get it for that amount.
no
get,
problem.
get it for 12 million and we would not place any
from. In this
expectation on
current
it.
market,
Why
Now,
you guys called
I'm
Darwin Núñez a
splitting
flop
this-
last season?
I'm splitting this out
come on,
here.
come on,
For
come on.
Darwin Núñez price start and next season being his third season. If Darwin Núñez does not give us a 30-goal Premier League campaign, this podcast will be set on fire.
Bro,
That-
would you agree that Rashford Soilon is also a
If-
flop
since
for
you-
70 million?
If
70
if Darwin Núñez does
70
not provide a 30-goal
When was-
tally next season,
When was his
there will
first,
be
when was
hell.
his first Premier League goal? I think he got it around December. A 70 million striker. Let's move to the next question. I just know he's a flop. Who is the most overrated player of the season for you guys?
Aha, this is where I come in. McAllister. Alexis McAllister. I'm not coming here as in case of agenda, yeah. They have always pushed this narrative of he plays as a 6, he's limiting his potential. When he plays as a 8, he's the best midfielder in. They are just around a certain circle where they don't know where they stand with this signing. I don't know if you get. For me, yeah, at the point they were pushing him as he's the best midfielder in the league this season. I don't know if you get. And being in those conversations, being overrated doesn't mean you are not good. It means you are getting praises more than you deserve. So for me,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, for me, the most overrated player this season is Alexis McAllister. You can say whatever you want.
oh,
How about you?
I'll go into Chelsea. I think I'll go with Caicedo.
Whoops.
Because, yes, I understand where Chelsea fan might be giving him expectation in terms of what they've seen in Brighton. But Caicedo is not a Jude Bellingham. Caicedo is not a Declan Rice. Caicedo is not a Rodri. Chelsea fans, lower your expectation. He will give you what you want. Sure, you understand? In terms of the attributes he possesses. But giving him expectation, you see, I think when he scored a goal yesterday now, Chelsea fans were over the moon. I know you guys have been over the season. None of you rated Caicedo. But in a very, very functional team, in a team that the manager understands the kind of player Caicedo is, you should understand how Roberto De Zerbi used him. It's not like as if he was so important in that, but he had that crucial role.
Towards the twilight of the season, they were able to see what he brings to the table. I don't know if you get. Towards the twilight of the season, like you said earlier, Enzo might be the setback, but towards the twilight, after the Enzo injury, him and the Cucurella pivot, you were able to see what the Caicedo we saw at Brighton. Yeah.
For me, I think it's easy and pretty straightforward. Someone who has been getting praises more than he deserves this season, I think it will be a little bit controversial. I think it's Martin Odegaard. To me, that's the most overrated player this season.
I understand. I called McAllister, so when he said controversial, I knew he was edging at Arsenal.
For me, I have watched a couple of Arsenal games this season. A couple of Arsenal games. When you're talking about players who have really stood up to the game, you're talking about players like Declan Rice, you're talking about players like Bukayo Saka. So I'm not coming from a place of hate or banter. It's just the way I view it.
Remember when I was having that discussion, I said, I don't know why I feel like, but I felt like Odegaard. In as much, I love Odegaard.
I love him very well, but I think he's getting the praises more than he deserves. He's getting the praise more.
I will leave you to the comment section. No, because as a player, yeah, Odegaard has evolved. He's a better player than he was a season ago.
We're talking about someone like Oli Watkins and the likes. You know, if you are telling me that as a playmaker in your team, the stats. Okay, now we're talking about Saliba. We're talking about clean sheets and all of that. Now you can't tell me everything will be based on night tests. At least we have to put statistics into consideration as well. You look at Martin Odegaard. You look at what's really this guy's input into Arsenal.
Many data favors him as one of the best creators in the league this season.
With how many assists? If you are going to use data, there are data that can mislead you and tell you Abi Elliott is one of the best ball progressors in the league. If you're going to use data, I'm telling you, there are data that can mislead you. If you check some data, they will tell you that Ruben Dias has been the best defender in the league. I'm telling you. So sometimes data and statistics can be really misleading.
If you watch Martin Odegaard this season, the data complements what you see. I don't know if you get.
I think the only time I saw a decline was towards the end of the season. I think this last few matches or so. But I think throughout the season,
If you accept Odegaard earlier part of the season, Odegaard was not the Odegaard you know.
No.
But from the Bournemouth game onward, he evolved.
I've not really been watching a lot.
He evolved to be a better
watched
player.
a
But
couple of
I'll leave it to the media.
But for me, he's the most overrated player this season. Martin Odegaard. Signing of the season.
Oh, obviously, we all know the signing of the season already. It's Kopama.
Wow.
Kopama was going as my signing of the season.
For me, I'll go for Declan Rice. I'll go for
It's
Declan
fair.
Rice.
It's fair.
I think he can even be in a shout for player of the season. Because I think nowadays, if you want to win a player of the season, you have to be banging in goals, assisting, and there. So I think probably because he's a midfielder, he's not getting those goals, assists. This guy has over 10 man of the matches.
Yeah.
Over 10 man of the. So I think Declan Rice is 100%.
It stands between the both of them. Now, the reason why we picked the other over the other was the expectations and the price tag. Kopama coming in for that amount and his impact and the expectation people had. People were just seeing it as one of those Modric signing, one of those kind of signing. It was to be Nkunku to lead the team and not Kopama being the leader.
Definitely.
I don't know if you get it. So for me, I'll edge it to Kopama. The Declan Rice had an absolute good season, for me. You can also fault it to Declan Rice also, but for me, I'll go with Kopama.
Okay, which team has underachieved most this season?
Underachieved. I'll go with Chelsea.
You can't be a United fan and say Chelsea underachieved.
Yeah, they did. That was why I was stating it earlier. I said I don't know what you if you put in investment. Imagine we still have.
This is coming from a Manchester United fan he still finished 8th position. That's their worst ever finish in the top
I understand where you're coming from, but in my opinion, so it's like if you had Chelsea fan, if you had Roman Abramovich as your manager, you definitely know if he is putting that much investment.
Now, if you have a Roman Abramovich does not go all out for rebuild. He believes in a process of you tell me what you want, I give you, and you give me what I want. Now, with the case of Todd Boehly, it's coming with the case of we are trying to rebuild everything. This is the process many of the clubs have gone through. Let's go through it. Let's go through this transitional phase. And looking at the trajectory of the team, finishing 10th last season and achieving a Europa League spot, for me, you can't tell me they underachieved. For your team now.
If you feel that way, but to me, Chelsea underachieved.
For me, I'll go with Man United. For finishing at the Carabao Cup winners last season, you went to the Champions League. You qualified for the Champions League. We'll go back to the Champions performance later on the podcast. Then you, at a point, looked like, okay, there's a hope for you to make top 4. And after which, there was a case of, okay, there is a hope for me to also make Europa League spot. And then you now have to keep your hope in the mouth of the Hungry Lions. So I'll go for Man United.
You go for Man United, you go for a Chelsea. I think I will be a little bit different here. For what Arsenal played this season, I think they don't deserve to go the season trophyless. I know they will come for a case of you guys will say the community shield.
We'll go back to there.
You guys will come about the community shield, but let's say the fact, as football fans, we don't really rate the community shield.
It's
a lot of people have won the community shield.
It's a Premier League award, not a league.
I think the community shield is just a ceremonial award. I don't think we can really categorize it.
I'm not talking about the Premier League. I'm talking about our award itself.
The community shield. For an average football fan, Arsenal have gone a trophyless season.
Yeah, they have.
So for what they have done this season, the good football, I think the most deserving winner of that Premier League is Arsenal. If you're going to look at how City have not been the best City compared to last season, but for what Arsenal have done this season, I think they underachieved massively in my book. Goal of the season.
It's only one goal. He will call it. He will tell you. It's just.
I remember on this podcast.
No, I will rebuke that. The Caicedo goal against Bournemouth. That was 50. That is 50 yards away. Like that is a screamer. That is for me a banger.
50 yards away, facing the net. Obviously.
Not everyone. We've seen a lot of players attempt it. We've seen a lot of players attempt it and fail.
Bruno had one, although it was not 50 yards though.
Against Liverpool.
Bruno had one against Liverpool. I think that was even the cup. I think that was the cup.
Yeah, I think
that was the cup.
We've seen a lot of players attempt it and it failed.
But I think Kudus gave us something Kudos gave.
Yeah,
Did
he
you
scored
watch
an
Kudus?
acrobatic against Man
Manchester
City.
City.
Yeah, but I think
But
I will
I
edge
love
it
my
to
boy.
Garnacho.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no problem, no problem.
You said it that you are going for Puskas.
We are going to Puskas.
If Garnacho doesn't win that Puskas, Odin,
Hold him responsible.
Old X2O, best newcomer of the season among all the teams.
They are all washed.
I know they are all back.
Best newcomer. I
Yeah.
think they are back.
They are all
They're all
back.
back, and they're all
They
washed.
are all back into the
You
championship.
see, remember when we started the season, I said something. I said, if you watched the way the end of last season went, you would know that if you are coming to the Premier League, if you remember that towards the end of last season, Everton was almost going to relegation. There was that fight towards the end where you know that if you know you want to stay in the Premier League, there has to be their fight.
That fight.
But now when you are looking at the likes of those that came in, I think they came in as thought that maybe those that are in the Premier League are just there.
I won't fashion the best newcomer in terms of team. I'll go for the Bournemouth manager. Areola, what is his name? I would go for him as the best newcomer. The whole team I watched. The entire team I watched.
Is it newcomer in terms of club?
Just best newcomer.
Just best
team,
newcomer,
player,
manager, team. Someone who is new to the Premier League.
a foreign body.
A foreign body. Wow.
A new body. We should call it that. A new.
I don't really have a shout out. I don't really have that shout out as to newcomers, because the foreigners that have been in the league have not really been at that point where I can say, okay, let me just fix this person as a newcomer. So I think he picked a manager, but I don't really have someone that's got to catch my eyes.
For me, I think Luton are back in the championship, but for what they did, at least out of the other two,
You were not the bad. They were not the
they were not the worst. I think
Wow.
A
A compensation.
Sheffield United, they were so shambolic. In fact, they should never play in the Premier League again. For what they have done,
They should
seize
seize their license.
They
to
should
operate in
seize
the
their
Premier
license. They should never come again. Burnley wanna be Pep. I wanna look like Pep Guardiola.
Wanna be.
But you look at Luton. Even if you are going to beat Luton, at least they will score you.
Yeah, definitely.
They
will
give people run for their
They will
money.
give their fans something to cheer for. At least they will give. So I think for me, I think I will put them as a newcomer. The biggest surprise of the season.
Biggest surprise.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise of this season for me is Aston Villa finished top 4.
Yeah, I think that. So now this is where I now put my team on the spot. The biggest surprise is United finishing 8th.
8.
It's a surprise to you.
That's
I was going to say that again.
That's why I put them on spot.
Because at the start of the season, I wasn't expecting that.
And I think the first podcast, I was even like, come on, we have done last season. Definitely, we are going to do something this season.
So
So I think the biggest surprise for me was we finishing 8th this season.
Manchester United.
Actually, very disappointing.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Your best prediction this season?
My best prediction was Liverpool. you know the obvious one.
Being closer
to making top 4 than winning the title, which they finished 8th. And I am one of my best predictions.
You have to look at the way Kenny is looking at you.
No. I understand. And one of my best predictions this season was also pushing Gallagher into that final third area where you could do more, and then it's worked out. There are a whole lot of them, but those are the two
I think my best prediction of this season is that Spurs will finish outside the top 4.
Yeah, you called it. And yeah, I also called their downfall from the Chelsea game. That was one of my best predictions. I said they will crumble after the Chelsea game.
I knew they were going to
From
finish
the Chelsea game, they were going to crumble.
outside the top 4. What's your
I don't.
prediction?
My best prediction was standing with the current winner, believing they'll still keep winning it.
Manchester City.
Regardless of the fact that they are my
you said
noisy neighbors.
you
But
said
I felt like Man City still will.
we're going to give that to you. Your worst prediction. We all have our hells.
We all have our heels, and one of it is also Aston Villa finish. I have an agenda against Unai Emery, so I was of that opinion that he would bottle it. He would bottle it, and then.
In fact, I should blindfold myself before I say this. I'm sorry, guys. I said Liverpool will finish the season as the champions. I'm sorry.
He said he made your statement. He said if Liverpool does not win the league, he will delete his TikTok account. So that was his statement. So you tender a special video. Public apology to everyone.
I have to apologize. Game of the season.
No,
Your worst prediction.
I think that was that's where Chelsea comes in, because I believed if anything is gonna happen, Chelsea can finish above us. So I think that was a loss. I think Chelsea finishing above us.
So we'll go for the game of the season.
Game of the season. There are a whole lot of fascinating games this season. You can go for the Chelsea 4-4 with Man City. You can go for the Man United Chelsea game. There are a whole lot.
Give us one. The most interesting game to you this season. You can watch 2 games and say both are interesting equally. Just give that
for the Chelsea Man U.
Chelsea Man U.
It gave what it should.
I was about to call that Chelsea Man U as well. What would you go for?
I'm in between 2 matches. I think it was that first Liverpool versus Tottenham match. I think where they had the offside issue.
The Luzia's controversy.
Yeah. The other one I would have called was the match I was most impressed with. That made me think that Arsenal were going to do something. And that was the first leg, City versus Arsenal. Even though it ended 1-0, I was so much impressed with what I saw.
Now, I would go for that Chelsea Man U because at a point during the 99th minute, I think, United was still leading the game.
I was bantering. I was watching the game at the local viewing center and I was bantering the entire Chelsea fan base.
Till date, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. How am I going to explain this to my grandchildren?
At that point, I was bantering the entire Chelsea fan base at that viewing center, and when that winning goal went in goal, they almost beat me. They tore my shirt, and I had to go home with just bare body.
So, guys, let's go to the interesting part of the game, the 6-digit code. So, I want you guys to pick up your pen. So, what they will do for us is, once they hear the question, they'll give themselves time to think about it. You all know how the 6-digit code works. Questions are thrown to the crew members of the podcast. We throw them questions, and from those questions, they are going to carve out a 6-digit code. So they are going to be displaying it to you guys, whatever their 6-digit code is. So this is not a matter of guessing. You guys can guess. I'm sorry. You only have to give us just one answer. Just one answer. You just write it. So are we good to go?
Yeah, good to go, Captain.
Okay. So let's start with it. The first question is Phil Foden jersey number. Phil Foden jersey number at Man City. His total Premier League goals for 2023-24 season. And his current age. Now let me repeat the question. Phil Foden jersey number. His total Premier League goals for 23-24 season. And his current age.
Oh man, I don't even think I know.
I will repeat that question again so that you guys will have time to think about it. Phil Foden jersey number, total Premier League goals that he scored 23-24 season, and his current age.
Total Premier League goal 23-24 season. Shit.
So you give us a 6-digit code. So at the count of 10, you display it to the fans at home. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's see what you have displayed. So what do you have there?
I have 471723.
471723. You have what?
471724.
Oh no. The correct answer is 471923. You came close. So let's go to the next question. Number of Pep Guardiola's title as a manager.
Overall
title.
As manager.
Bundesliga, Spain, England, all his titles. His league titles, not Champions League, not Cup.
All league titles.
League, just the league. Bundesliga, the number of Bundesliga, the number of La Liga, the number of Premier League titles he has won. Bundesliga, La Liga, and English Premier League. So, number of Pep Guardiola league titles as a manager. Man City total Premier League titles. And the minute Aguero scored that famous Aguero! Staggering!
Wait,
like you said, Man City.
Is it?
Let me rephrase the question again. Now, number of Pep Guardiola's league titles as a manager.
Oh, wow.
Number of Pep Guardiola's league titles as a manager. the number of Man City total Premier League titles. How many Premier League titles has Man City won? And the minutes Aguero scored that famous winner versus QPR. Number of Guardiola League titles as a manager. Total number of Man City Premier League titles. And the minutes Aguero scored that famous winner against QPR.
If you get to here, you have total number of Pep Guardiola's Premier League trophies.
League titles.
League titles.
Like general league titles.
Yeah, excluding
League.
Champions League, excluding Copa
Just
del Rey.
league.
Just league alone. Just league alone.
Okay.
Just league alone. So
Kindly come again. I didn't get
okay. Number of Pep Guardiola's league title as a manager.
Okay.
The number of Premier League titles Man City have won in total. And the minute Aguero scored.
Since it has become Premier League, or is it just everything together?
Yeah, everything together. And the minute Aguero scored that late winner versus QPR. So at the count of I'm going to count down 10, so you show the world what you have gotten. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's raise it up. So which code do you have there, H2O?
I have 121094.
121094, and you have
129102.
okay. The correct answer is 111094. Pep Guardiola has won 11 league titles as a manager. Manchester City have won 10 Premier League
Wow.
I would
titles.
have been ahead of this guy.
And
Come on.
Aguero scored
Nearly does
that
not feel
famous 94th minute winner against
Nearly does not
QPR.
just.
So let's go to the third question. Jude Bellingham's jersey number at Madrid. His jersey number at Real Madrid. His current age. And the amount Real Madrid paid to get him from Borussia Dortmund. That should be an easy one. A very easy one, guys. Let me repeat the question again. Jude Bellingham's jersey number at Real Madrid.
I don't know his age.
His jersey number, his current age, and the amount Real Madrid got him from Borussia Dortmund. This should be a very easy one, guys. It should be a very, very easy one. It should be an easy one. Jude Bellingham jersey number at Real Madrid, his current age, and the amount Real Madrid got him from Borussia Dortmund. So, I don't even need to give you a countdown. I think you guys are. So,
the amount Real Madrid got him
from Borussia Dortmund.
I don't know.
So, I'll give you the countdown of 10. You know how we do it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
This is not looking good.
It's not going
4, 3,
I bet.
2,
I'll stick
1. Raise it up.
I'll stick with what I have.
So, Prosper Westman, tell us your code.
520105.
Tell us your code.
520100.
The right answer is 520103.
Oh my god. It's 103.
Yeah, Jude Bellingham wears the number 5 jersey at Real Madrid. He's 20 years of
I was not
age,
thinking it was closer.
and it was gotten from Borussia Dortmund at 103 million euros. So let's move into the next question. Now this one is a little bit tricky. I need you to stay attentive. Number of games Bayern Leverkusen won in this just concluded Bundesliga season. The one they just won.
Like
The number of games they won. They won some, they drew some, they lost, they didn't lose. They didn't lose. They lost 0 games. So you have to give us that number that they won. How many games did they win in the league?
How many numbers did Arsenal win? Doing their invisible.
I don't even.
You don't even know.
So are you guys attentive?
I am.
So number of games that Bayern Leverkusen won in the just concluded Bundesliga season, and our star boy Victor Boniface, the number of Bundesliga goals he scored in the just concluded 23-24 Bundesliga season, and the age of their manager, Xabi Alonso?
How am I supposed to do
That should be an easy one for you guys.
I'll just stick with
Let me repeat the question.
I'll stick with my
So the question is number of games Bayern Leverkusen won in the just concluded Bundesliga season. Nigeria star boy Victor Boniface total Bundesliga goals in the 2023-24 season, and Xabi Alonso current age.
Well, if I win this, buy me something.
Yeah.
This is hell.
There's no way. Those I'm supposed to get, I've missed by one value.
So count down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raise it up. H2O, tell us your code.
2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 2.
2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 2. Okay.
28 1 2 4 2 40.
Come again.
28 1 2 40.
Oh, you guys are wrong. Okay. The right answer is 28144142.
Wow.
281442.
Two good shots.
Yeah.
I
They won
think
20. They won 28 games in the just concluded Bundesliga season. Victor Boniface scored 14 goals in the Bundesliga season, and Xabi Alonso's current age is 42. So the last one, this is a bonus. I know you guys will get it. Lionel Messi's total goal for Barcelona and Cristiano Ronaldo's total goal for Real Madrid.
I'm not even a Messi Ronaldo fanboy. How would I get it?
Are you guys telling me that you don't know it?
Wow.
Give it a try. I'm sure you will get it. Lionel Messi's total goal at Barcelona, not his total career goals, his total goals at Barcelona, and Cristiano Ronaldo's total goals at Real Madrid. Combine the two together, you have a 6-digit code.
Well, I don't know it.
I don't even.
I think Messi had more than Ronaldo, since it is La Liga goals, right? Or total career goals.
Total career goal for Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Oh.
Lionel Messi's total goals for Barcelona, Ronaldo's total goals for Real Madrid.
I can never get that right.
I can never.
Give it a try. So I'm gonna give them a countdown as we do it, guys.
Let's just embarrass ourselves.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raise it up. Tell us your code.
You can 582 446.
5, 1, 2, 4, 4, 5. That's what I am.
Nobody even came close. The right answer is 472450. Lionel Messi scored 672 goals for Barcelona. Cristiano Ronaldo scored 450 goals for Real Madrid. And here comes at the end of the 6-digit score segment. They have participated in it. They are on hot seat. I know some of you at home are watching and you are furious. You are fuming with them like, how would you get this?
I bet you
You won't get that. You won't get that.
So let me ask you a question before we move to the next segment. If you are, as an average football fan, how would you define success for a manager?
Wow.
What's your own definition of success for a manager?
For me, it's a two-way thing. There's two dimensions to me defining success. My opinion might not align with yours. Now, there's a general opinion that who wins trophy is a successful manager. I agree to that 80%. But I want to cite an example. Ten Hag won the trophy last season and is in the final this season. You can't say his reign at United has been successful. I don't know if you get. Now, winning a trophy and being I agree, 80% agree with you, it's successful. Now, what another means I define as success for a manager is you come into an unstable club who has lost their identity and culture, and you are able to bring back that glory days in terms of connecting the fans with the club and uniting the dressing room and all of that, and you then going forward to win a trophy. That's what I define as success. But if it's a case where the club is in a stable environment, just like the Chelsea Roman Abramovich, if you come in and you don't win any stuff, you were never successful there. So I feel like it's a two-way thing.
Okay.
To me, I feel like there is no success that does not come without a crown. You understand me? So, Pep Guardiola can play the best football for 7 years without a trophy. No one cares.
Nobody will care.
So, but I feel like, in as much as that might be in play, I feel like the how would I call it?
The layman.
The aura of the team, like the aura of the football club, defines what success means. Do you understand? So you can see someone like probably maybe Graham Potter before he went to Chelsea, or maybe Roberto Di Serbi. They might see after a season, see the way they play and say, "Oh, this is regarded as success" in their own terms. But I feel like if you are in a very, very big club, look at Barcelona now. Look at Real Madrid. Look at Manchester City.
So you're saying the club plays a big factor.
The club you play for will determine the factor of what success
you define as success
to you.
Because for Bournemouth, the season they had this season
was a successful season.
But you should also consider that Guardiola coming in also this season, he unified because there was a breach between, Guardiola was at Bournemouth and there were this rattle of you don't want to invest, I want to invest, and all of that. They had Scott Parker and all of that. So I feel like also, I buy your idea, but I also feel like you need to put also the context of unity as a team. I
understand, but to me, an icing on the cake should define success in big football clubs. So regardless of whether you play good football or not, in as much as there is nothing to show for it, it's like you are just doing something, but we don't have. Well, yeah.
If I'll pick it up from what you just said, if historians will tell us that manager was a successful manager at a particular club, you're talking about these trophies.
The trophies, not.
If you built the team, nobody will give a damn about it. But as long as you have that trophy to show for it, you look at a case of Claudio Ranieri and a case of probably maybe Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers actually brought Leicester into competing for top 4.
Took them to a final. And won a trophy.
But look at Claudio Ranieri, he won the Premier League title with them. So I think if historians are talking about those successful managers in Leicester's history, I think Ranieri will come before Brendan Rodgers. So I think trophy.
At the tail end of everything, it's trophies.
It's trophies.
But I also buy the concept of depends on the club you are at. That's why I said even
So
after you bring in the club to where there should be culturally and in terms of the fans and the club in terms of connection, the icing on the cake at the end of the day is the trophy. That's what defines the final success.
Yeah.
But you going out to in an unstable environment, an unstable club, just going out and trying to make things like it's not there. Trying to max problems, I feel like that's not real.
We want you to join the conversation, guys. How would you define success for a manager? We want you to join the conversation. As you are watching, you are enjoying, make sure you tap the plus button to give us a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you tap the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification icon so that you'll be notified anytime we drop an episode of the podcast. Let's assemble the team of the season. We want to hear H2O's team of the season. He just give us a player under a few minutes. Your goalkeeper of the season.
I'll go with David Raya.
David Raya, okay. Your right back of the season.
I've not really been impressed by right backs or left backs this season. I think this season has been a season where we've come short in terms of that. I think I'll go with, there's this guy, I think it's Pedro Porro.
Tottenham. Okay. Your first centre back?
I'll go with Saliba.
William Saliba. Your second centre back?
To me, I'm just going with Arsenal centre back.
Gabriel. Okay. Yeah. Your left back?
I'll go with Udogi. Yeah, I'll go with Udogi.
Destiny Udogi. Okay. Your DM?
This is where I have an issue. But I'll still go with Rodri.
Okay, fine. Your CM, the central midfielder?
So, the way I want to place it, I don't really think I'd go with the central midfielder. What I want to go for is I want to go for a Cole Palmer, Foden, and I think on the other side I'll go with a Cole Palmer, Foden. Yeah, there's still many in center midfield. Who can I go with?
Okay,
what formation are you actually playing?
So I'm looking at a 4-4-2.
You're looking at the 4-4-2. Okay, so now you have Rodri, you have Foden
and
as your two midfield. Okay, you have Cole Palmer out wide.
And then, you have Foden out wide. Who is to pair with Rodri?
who is superior with Rodri?
You know, it's just team of the season. It's not like
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. It's team of the season.
So,
too.
man, I'm in between two lines here. I don't want to go for Declan Rice because it doesn't really
Deserve to be there.
no, it doesn't really gel with what I have in mind. But since I have two creator, can we just let's just skip for now.
Okay.
Just for now.
Okay.
It's two players up front.
He said
I would Oli Watkins and Haaland.
Oli Watkins and Alan. So just a single guy.
Midfielder.
For me, I would go with the 3-4-3 formation.
3-4-3 formation. Okay,
and
your
my
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper of the season. It will be an odd one, but I'll go for Emi Martinez of Aston Villa.
Okay, your
because
first centre back.
My first centre back is William Saliba.
Second centre back.
My second centre back is I'll go for the aura man, Virgil van Dijk.
The third centre back.
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Gabriel. Okay.
Then my two pivots in the midfield, I'll go for Rodri and I will go for Declan Rice.
Declan Rice,
Now,
okay.
my right, it will be a bit. It's not going out to play football match. So my right wing back, I'll go for Bukayo Saka.
Okay.
My left wing back, I'm going for Anthony Gordon.
Okay.
Then, as my up front, I'll go for a Foden,
Okay.
a Kopama, and Erling Haaland. He's a victim of his own success. He had an incredible season. He had an incredible season.
A wonderful season. For me, I think I'll just go for the 4-3-3.
Yeah.
4-3-3. My goalkeeper in goal, I think I would just go for David Raya. He's the golden goal for now. In as much as some people will come up with a debate that it doesn't keep short, blah blah blah. I think as a football fan, what I've learned in recent time is modern goalkeeping has evolved more than just shot stopping and likes being proactive. I really enjoy what he does and what he brings to the Arsenal side. At right back, I've been so impressed with Ben White. I have to be very honest. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I've been so impressed. Centre back, I'll go with William Saliba and Virgil van Dijk. And my left back, it has to be Destiny Udogie of Tottenham. I love the ball. Then my DM, Rodri. The horror, everything. It's a no-brainer. Then, as I will have with number 8, I'll put Declan Rice there as my number 8. Then, up there in that number 10 row, I put Kopama. I put Kopama there. Then, at the right wing, I put Phil Foden. Then, the left wing, I'm going to go Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, I think that's
then, up front, it's a no-brainer. I'll go for Oli Watkins.
Wow.
All right.
We are still waiting for your last man.
The
I
last
think one person is I'll give Gordon. So this is the way I want it. I want a Rodri. On the right hand side, I want Foden. In the middle, I want Palmer. Then I want Gordon. Then I want an Haaland and Watkins.
Watkins up front. Okay, so which of us has assembled the best team of the season? I know you have a little bit of doubt. You have a little bit of thing you're thinking in your head right now. Like, are they in their right senses? Give us your own team of the season in the comment section. Join the conversation as well. Let's go to start one, sub one. It's always a very tough one.
The episode of war.
These three guys that I have brought to your table, I'm sorry, I will give you guys headache. As a manager, you have these three wonderful footballers at your disposal. You have to start one of them, sell one of them, and sub one of them. Caicedo, Tchouameni, and Declan Rice. Moses Caicedo, Aurelien Tchouameni, and Declan Rice. You are a manager. Start one, sell one, sub one. Caicedo, Tchouameni, Declan Rice.
I would sell the guy who now looks like the late Mohbad. I'll sell Caicedo. Then it's between Declan Rice and Aurelien Tchouameni. The man I call too much money. I call him too much money. I don't really. I won't come here to pretend like I watch Madrid week in, week out. Yeah, so I'll bench Tchouameni and I would start a Declan Rice.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay. Let's hear from you.
I don't really have much take on that. It's a no-brainer to me. I don't know. So I'm definitely starting Declan Rice. I'll bench Tchouameni. I feel like Declan has more weapons in his arsenal than Tchouameni. So I'll start Declan, bench Tchouameni. Definitely I'm selling Caicedo.
You're selling Caicedo.
I think I'll sell
Wow.
that.
Okay. For me, I think I'm going to start Tchouameni.
Yeah.
I'll start Tchouameni because what this guy offers Real Madrid, I think there is a statistics that back it up that he hasn't lost a game when he has started this season. He can play as a centre back, play as a number 6. He can even fill in the void as a number 8. I've seen him do a lot of things. His game understanding is top notch. I am going to start Tchouameni 100%. Then on the bench, I know you guys will slander me for this, but I'm going to put Moses Caicedo to be on the bench. Declan Rice, I love him very well, but I just have to sell him off. If I have a team, I'm going to start Tchouameni. I love him very well.
I understand why Liverpool are ready.
He has a fetish love for black players.
No, it's not about being black players. It's just the way I see it. Moses Caicedo, I believe Moses Caicedo can do a lot of things for me. There's nothing that Declan Rice can offer that I don't believe that Moses Caicedo can do for me. So I'll throw Caicedo on the bench and I'll say Declan Rice, you go and eat rice at home.
Okay, no problem.
So let's know what you think in the comment section. Who would you start? Who would you sub? And who are you going to sell? He said he's going to start Declan Rice. He's going to bench Caicedo, right?
Yeah.
And you're selling Tchouameni off.
No. I said I was benching. I don't know who Caicedo is.
You don't know that, brother.
Okay, you're selling Caicedo. So you said
I stick with the same thing he said.
So they are both on the same page. You flip the page to the next page. That's where I am. I'm on the other side. So I'm just going to ask you a question, and this I want you to stay attentive because it's a little bit tricky. Now I'm going to give you the names of Premier League teams, the 20 Premier League teams. I'm going to call out their name. You're going to tell me in a single word if they have had a good season, an average season, or a bad season. I'll call the name of the Premier League team. You will tell me if they have had a good season, an average season, or a bad season. So let's start with it in alphabetical order. Let me say, for Arsenal, I'll start with H2. Arsenal, would you say Arsenal have had a good season, an average season, or they've had a bad season?
I can't put them as bad or average. They are not average, that's correct. So I'll just say a good season.
A good season.
A good season. I can't put them that.
For you,
for me,
Arsenal.
I would like to go a bit dive into details here.
Okay.
For an Arsenal team who is the best team since the Invincible, and you end up with nothing at the end of the season. Now, this is my issue that I've always had with Arsenal. You can't just go all out for the Premier League and forget to hold on to something. Now, I would have called this a good season for Arsenal if they had the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup to back it up. There's no shame losing to Bayern Munich. Those are the traditional team of Champions League. There's no shame losing to that. But you lose being kicked out by West Ham and then Liverpool. Okay. Then at the Premier League, you went down to the last day. That was commendable because I have a stat here. The Arsenal broke the record for the most win ever in their history this season. The highest goal scored ever in their history this season, and the highest goal difference ever in their history this season. And it was not enough to win the league title against the AI machine, the robot who now controls the league. For the league, yeah, they had a decent season, but if you have to factor all of this, like you said, the tail end of every success is something you present. You are just explaining with no evidence. If you had an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup or something tangible to hold on to it, I'd have said they have a good season. So for me, I would go Arsenal had an average season.
Average season.
Yeah.
For you, okay. I think for me, I'll put Arsenal. They've had a good season because of what happened last season. A lot of people going into this season, we were all like, can they replicate what they did last season? It was a lot of question marks were around the team. They will fall off. So I think what they have done this season, they have done properly well. So I'll put it as a good season for Arsenal, not an average or a bad season.
In terms of trajectory, yeah, it's a good season. But at the tail end of everything, you can't bring... I think this is the first time in a long time we went a season undefeated to City. And this is the first time a manager in the Premier League has not lost to both Guardiola and Klopp in the same season. So in terms of trajectory, it's a good season, but at the tail end of everything, you need to bring something to the table. And what do you bring to the table?
So since there are no trophies to show there, since there are no trophies to
at least a Carabao Cup, if you had lost the league, a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup would have made it okay. You had something like this season. You can't remember in 2 years from now. You can't tell your kids Arsenal had a good season with something. Nothing to
so if Manchester United should win the upcoming FA Cup with Man City, you would say Man United had a better season than Arsenal.
If there is an option for terrible in this bracket, I would have put United there.
you know what you say? I'm happy for Arsenal fans. You guys are now realizing there is nothing there. There is nothing.
There is actually nothing. But in terms of trajectory, you can't beat your chest. You would even be in the top 4 next season compared to where Arsenal.
It doesn't matter whether I'm in the top 4 or not. As far as they're not winning the trophy.
And for real, we just have to put this out there. I think the anthem there is an Arsenal anthem, not London Forever or whatever. So I think they need to adopt a new anthem. It was sung by King Washia Inde. He's a Nigerian Fuji musician. He sang about vivid imagination. So I think it should be an anthem at the Emirates next season. Vivid imagination. So let's go to Aston Villa. Good, average, bad.
Definitely good.
Good season.
A good season.
Yeah, I concord that. For them, considering where they were, where they are, and what they achieved. And even if I felt Spurs were not men enough, because you fell off with 2 points, just 2 points behind Villa. So if you had won your City game, you would have been in top 4. But you can't discredit another man's success. So I feel like Aston Villa had a good season. So I'll pick them for a good season.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, for me, I think it's still an average season in my opinion, because losing out to Olympiacos in the semi-final of the Europa Conference League is a shame. It's a shame, considering the kind of manager Unai Emery is, because
putting his reputation
in
because
European trophy. I understand that some Villa fans will have their own expectation that we have this manager who understands the know-how of how to win European competitions, and losing out to Olympiacos, nobody expected that. So,
I've seen it with him. He once coached my team, so it's not me.
I think it would have been a good season if they had gone to the final of the Europa Conference League. I think it would have been. But to me, it's just an average season. Let's go to AFC Bournemouth.
It's for me, where did they finish at during the table? Can you check that, please?
12th.
They finished 12th. That's even below the bottom half of the table. In as much as it's their best ever campaign and all of that, with the hype around the manager and everything, I feel they should have been at the bottom top half of the table. So they finished. They had an average season.
Okay. Actually.
An average season is fine. Considering the trajectory of the club. So I feel like that's an average season.
Oh, okay. For me, I would say they have had a very, very, very good season. A very, very, very good season. I can call it an excellent season.
Wow.
Highest points tally accumulated in a single Premier League season. They play some wonderful football in between. Dominic Solanke having 19 goals. So I think it's just that's a very good season for them, and a lot of wonderful potentials in the squad that they can actually improve next season. Brentford,
yeah. I would be a bit merciful or a bit considerate, because Brentford are one of the side. People keep yelling United struggled with injury. Brentford are one of the side who had a real injury issue this season.
What do you mean by real?
They had a real injury issue. They had a lot of players absent for a long while. I don't know if you get. And for them, where did they end up?
I think they're 16th.
16th.
Yeah.
And at the point they were even fighting for relegation and all of that mix. So you consider their injury, I would actually go. They had a bad season. They had a bad season, because if now I am trying to consider their cup performances also.
I was thinking the way you are sugarcoating. I was waiting for where you were going to land.
No, they had a bad season.
How about you, Brentford?
Yeah, definitely a bad season, considering the fact that seasons before we know what Brentford represented. They were part of those teams that were very, very exciting.
Always a pain in the ass for top team.
So very, very bad season.
A bad season. Okay.
It's a good bad season for me, because that was why I was trying to factor the.
For me, I'll just say it's a bad season for them. Let's go to Brighton.
Wow, a very bad one. A very bad season. In as much as they lost their players, so to say, and maybe they were not able to really recover. But in general, it's a very bad season considering the kind of style.
Where
of
did they
play.
end?
I think they ended at 11.
11.
And they were part of the top half.
For me, I think I would just put it as an average season for them because they lost some key players, not by selling them. I think they lost Caicedo and McAllister in the summer to transfer.
Yeah,
and there is a guy, Karu Mitoma.
Mitoma had out of the season.
Out of the season, and so far
solid match
as well. So
yeah.
they had some players in the squad. So it was playing the season with not a balanced squad.
Estupenia struggled with
injuries as well. So
Lamptey and all of that.
Yeah. So I and the person they brought in to replace Caicedo, Baleba, has not been that guy. So I think I would just say it's an average season.
Yeah.
Because of what they had, and they still were able to, at least at a point, they were challenging for European places. So yeah. I think it's just an average season.
And for the trajectory of the club, it's not like they have always been a top half club.
Yeah.
But losing to Roma that way, it's embarrassing to the league.
It's not even the Brighton we know anymore.
It's embarrassing to the league, and I understand why Deserbi left.
Okay.
But I would put them as they had a bad season. They had, for the fact that they lost to Roma in that manner in a European competition. Don't get me wrong, Roma are who they are in terms of European competition, but for a team with so much hype and all of that, but I would put them in a bad season, a good bad season, because okay. I'm being considerate with their players.
Burnley
problem. Yeah. Burnley problem right now has been company and their recruitment. Now I would dissect it into this way. You guys come into the Premier League as a first timer, and your style of recruitment is going for young stars. You are not Chelsea. You should be going into the dugout with people who has been there. Look at Brentford. When they came in, they had the likes of Ben Mee. This guy has been with Burnley ever since. I don't know if you get, like, they had the likes of Ben Mee and all of that. You came in and you got in a whole lot of young players. And when you came in, now, as a team who came in, the first thing you should look forward to is survival and not entertain me. I expect company at the point to approach pragmatism. And you know what, let's get the result and get out of here, not trying to be Pep or trying to be a certain Roberto De Zerbi. I understand you are trying to sell your CV, but the first aim for a team coming from the relegation should be survivor, and after which you can think of the next season. Okay, let's try to be what we are supposed to be. In terms of recruitment, they got it wrong. In terms of their approach to games, the company got it wrong. They have a very terrible season, so I put them bad.
Okay. Chelsea.
No, he hasn't given
no,
the
okay. It's a bad season for them.
Okay, Burnley, a bad season.
I think they won the championship.
They won the championship with so much expectation and hype.
For me as well, I'll just say Burnley. If there's another word for bad, terrible.
Yeah, definitely.
They had a terrible season. There is even a video online where there is a Burnley old man talking about he wants his team back. He wants that old Shondice football back.
No, when you were playing the Shondice balling, even if they were going down, you knew you were getting. You had the Chris Wood, you had a certain Weghorst, you had those James Tarkowski, Ben Mee.
And for over 7 seasons, Shondice was able to keep them in the Premier League with low budget and all of that. So
that's what he's good at.
So Chelsea, good, average, or bad season?
I'll go with average.
Average season.
I'll go with average.
Okay.
I'll try to look at it from the perspective that last season they were below par. Just like they ended, I think the bottom half. Was it about, I think, 10 or 11. So I think this season, getting European Cup, just like you said, they are just as an average season.
Average season.
I'll go for a good season. Okay. Because considering a team that finished 10th last season, and then
you are treating Chelsea like as if they are a Burnley or something.
They are not a Burnley, they are Chelsea. You went to a final.
So you are saying that Chelsea had a good season. If you are a Chelsea fan, would you be satisfied?
You should be.
Would you be happy? You would.
So if Arsenal
would you want your team back?
At the half of the season, every Chelsea fan would dream of a Europa spot. And now going to the final, to Man City, you never went there like an Arsenal to pack the bus. You went there and played like a man, even if a certain Drogba regen sent you back to. There's no shame losing to a Man City team. Now I'm putting into consideration that you went to a final with the Man City team, and you never went there and you were whitewashed. You had a good game as a big team, which you are, and now you are finishing 6th. For me, I feel like it's a good season considering your injury record. For me, it's a good season for Chelsea.
Okay, so for me, I will take it as an average season. it's not good, it's not bad, it's just an average season. Because I would have said it's a bad season, but in the last few weeks they have changed my thoughts about them.
So it's like you guys are basing your conclusion based on a certain percentage of what happened this season. Remember, they are Chelsea, they are not Aston Villa, they are not Tottenham.
Now considering the trajectory of Chelsea, yeah, you finished 10th last season and you are seeing a Europa League spot. It's a golden opportunity. You grab it with 2 hands. Every Chelsea fan should even be more than happy. You should understand why they are making so much noise online.
This was the team that won the 2021 UEFA Champions League.
That's what I'm trying to say.
This was the team at the point we were looking below like this.
It doesn't really matter. That's because
they are having a very
bad. It's because they're having a very, very bad spell of thing. We know who Chelsea. That's what I'm saying. Are you treating Chelsea like an Aston Villa?
For a team going through transition, for me, it's a good season. I don't know what you think. For a team going through transition,
but going through transition as a big team doesn't mean you should be in the bottom up of the table for a majority of the season.
I want to tell you, and I want to stick this out there. If United should win the Carabao Cup, their fans would come out and tell you they have a very good season. Despite missing out on, and look at the lackadaisical behavior they behaved during the Champions League. Come back to United. I don't know if you get.
That's because on the surface they are trying to come out to you on the surface. That is not the real fact. We all know United have a very, very.
You almost push a statement.
That is like everyone trying to cover.
You almost push a statement of United having a better season than Arsenal because of they won a certain trophy. So you can't tell me Chelsea never had a good season because their transition.
I was not pushing an agenda of.
You United. Almost. I said you almost.
This is like in terms of success. At the end of the day, when we are looking back, history will remember United as having a better season than they won't show us the style of play Arsenal.
No, they won't. So
that's what I'm saying. Like eventually, I understand where Chelsea, but to me, that's why I mentioned it. Chelsea is not an Aston Villa to me. So the way I see them, I don't see them as a team.
You see them as a Bayern Munich or what?
Something like that, of course.
Okay.
The previous 2 seasons, especially, let's go way back. That's 2 seasons back. They won Champions League.
No.
Is it 2 seasons back?
Not 2 seasons back.
I think that
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
That is like 4 seasons ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago. I think after that, they've been coming up short and short. So it's a Chelsea team. That's what I'm trying to say.
They deserve to be playing in the Champions League.
It's just like United. Just like you can slash me for the way United is now. It's a United team. I don't expect I should be handling United just like I handle Aston Villa or a normal Brighton.
There are expectations
to be kind of levels you guys have.
Going into this season, were you expecting Chelsea to be in the title race?
Definitely not.
Were you expecting them to make top 4?
I was expecting at least a push.
Not really. I was expecting a push.
I was expecting at least a push for the top 4.
So if you never expected so much, then obviously they had a good season. You can agree with me on that.
From my side, if you're saying was I expecting, I know what realistically it is. But I am telling you that
realistically, this is what they should achieve. Realistically, this is what they should achieve.
Considering how much they spent in the summer, would you say they decided?
Take note of this. Nothing in the bottom, like outside top 4, will spend that much and not believe they will make top 4.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, to me as a fan, I'm not expecting because I don't see them as anything. But because they are Chelsea, like from a third volley perspective or from a Pochettino perspective, just like he has been believing that there is nothing, but you should see it as, oh, this is Chelsea. We don't just accept it as.
We'll go with the opinion of they had a good season.
We leave that to you.
We leave that to you.
Crystal Palace.
Palace. Wow. Glasner. Wait, when Ray Hodgson at the point here made me feel Crystal Palace has been long due for relegation. Because at the point, no disrespect to Palace fans and Ray Hodgson, it's a fantastic manager to English football. But at the point, I sat down and asked myself, why is this man still coaching if not greed?
Yeah,
I don't know if you get. Now,
let me buttress what you said. He didn't plan to leave, if not that he collapsed at the training center.
Yeah.
He collapsed.
Yeah.
This man was aged that he had to collapse.
A Glasner came in, and under Glasner, Palace have won 3 consecutive games while scoring 3+ goals each time for the first time in their history in the English Premier League top flight. Now, Crystal Palace have won many Premier League games this season, 13 than they did under Ray Hodgson, 24 matches in charge this season. Ray Hodgson won only 6 games. Now, since Oliver Glasner came in, and took over Crystal Palace in February, Joan Mateta, no player has scored more goals than Mateta in the Premier League. This is an instant impact of a manager who just came in and he put the team in where they should be.
And along the line, he has gotten results against teams like Liverpool, teams like Manchester United, and of recent Aston
Villa. It was a slap. They spanked them.
That means he has defeated 2 teams who are in the top 4.
Yeah,
that's big. That's
for me, yeah, for their level. Because at the point, I saw a Palace fan who also was like, we have long overdue for relegation and we've been escaping it. And for me, yeah, with Glasner coming in and trying to salvage their season, and not just salvaging it by management, he did it properly. Like, this is who I am, this is my identity, this is it, this is that, and everybody on fire. And the resurgence of Mateta.
Yeah.
Nobody understood Mateta for a while. Like, I was at the point, who is this guy?
How would you rate their season, Crystal Palace?
Well, I think this manager's surge of it was towards the end of the season. So
February.
Everton.
I just remember right now that I think they finished somewhere close to relegation last season. So just a bad season. So far they've been going down the trend rather than although they had Premier League.
For me, I would say they have had a good season because those points deduction, we have to put that into consideration. I think they ended 16th or 17th, somewhere around that.
Something better than that.
Somewhere around 15.
For me, considering the point deduction and the financial issue and the takeover drama all behind everything, yeah, I feel like they had a good season. They had a good season.
Okay. Let's go to Fulham Football Club.
Whoops. Where did they end? 13. With all the shenanigans, I thought they were at top. They had an average season for their level. Yeah, for their level, I think Marco Silva did a decent job, and they had an average season. I expected them to be contending for some certain European spot towards the twilight of the season.
Yeah, Liverpool Football Club.
They had an average season, if not bad, but an average season will work. Okay. But in as much as they got, but just like I said, sometimes I do place emphasis on the name. They are Liverpool. So, but you guys want a trophy?
Yeah, Carabao Cup.
I'll still place it as let's say probably a good season. You guys have a cup to show for, and at the same time you finish third in the contention for the title race. So let me just place it as a good season.
Okay.
For a farewell that never went well. And for a team that spent the most number of days at the top of the table, even in as much as you won the Carabao Cup, I give you credit for that. You spend the most number of days at the top of the table. If not finishing first, you should be finishing second and not third. So I would go for Liverpool at an average season.
Okay. For me, I think I'll just place it as a good season. Let me not from a fan's point of view, because this season was meant to be a traditional season. The news, midfield surgery, new look in the midfield. Nobody predicted that Liverpool would be in the title race at a point, and they were in it. Carabao Cup, and it's fine. It's a good season. Luton Town.
Well, they're out of the Premier League, right?
Yeah, they are back home. They are back to where they belong.
They only had a good season in terms of what their level is and what they showed that they could do. But in fair, for them to even be out of the picture, it's a bad season for them.
For me, as a team coming from relegation, you should make your home your fortress. And you want just 4 games at home, lost 11, and drew 4 games at home. And then you average 2 goals every game. You concede average of 2.19 goals every game, and you considered 85 goals. I think that is a very bad season. I love the manager, I love his story, I love everything, but I feel like you should be a bit difficult than just going more direct, like you are Liverpool or what I don't know what you think you are. You should be a bit pragmatic in some certain extent. Like, there were times where they got results in some minutes against the big team, and then they just bottle it because they want to be more direct and all of that. But I hope Afidoti get out of that team. They are fullback.
Okay. For me, I just think they have had an average season. Considering their level, the Premier League is so very intense. If you are not so very good as a team, you cannot survive in the English Premier League. And I think they were the only team that came in from the championship that at least fight to the end, because on the final they were looking at, okay, if things didn't go Nottingham Forest way, probably maybe if we get a result we can stay in the league. So at least they were the only one who survived to the final day, so I'll give them an average season for that standard of the team. Manchester City,
What else can I say? You are about to spank somebody for an FA. There's no shame losing to Madrid.
Yeah,
Absolutely no
it's
shame.
it's a very
good season.
It's a beautiful season, good one.
It is.
A good season.
for them.
Manchester United,
You saw the way he hid his face. I want him to speak. Speak.
It has been a very, very bad season. Considering we finished third last year, and at the same time we bowed out with the Carling Cup, I think. So considering where we thought
You
we
should
would have been this season, because we can't use shoot again because the season is over already. There's nothing we can do about it. So it has been a very, very bad season, regardless of whatever excuses we might want to put out there. But it has been a very, very bad season. So to me, United, we've very, very bad. A very, very bad season.
Eric Ten Hag's United. Yeah, I would plead with the panel chairman to create a column for terrible. Because you in the year 2024 alone, United considered 360 shots more than Sheffield United, who is 20th. And they have lost 19 games in all competition, the most ever in their history, and all of that. And they finished 8th, the worst in their history. You can factor injury and all of that, but where you are United. I want to use your Chelsea slang for you. You are United, arguably the biggest club in England, the biggest brand in England, one of the biggest brands in world football. Okay. You can't finish 8th after winning the Carabao Cup, going to the Champions League, and you brought embarrassment to England.
Okay.
In that group, I felt like you had a very bad season.
Okay. For me, I don't want to be too harsh, and I'll give you my reasons. I don't want to be too harsh. I'll say they have had an average season. Now I understand it is Manchester United. There is a reputation on the line, but if you look at last season, they have actually improved a lot in their game. Now I'll tell you the major decline at Manchester United this season. It has to do with number one, their defending, and number two is physicality. Those are the two key ingredients that actually affected United this season. If you look at passes per defensive action, they have been one of the best pressing team in the league this season. They've had high turnovers, and if you look at their defending, it has to be a factor of trying to press high, and the back line is not pushing high with the midfield line. So there is always a lot of gap, and teams are actually exploiting that. When we talk about physicality, they lost Fred, who I think is a very, very key ingredient in what Ten Hag did last season. That physicality is not there again. A massive decline in Casemiro physicality as well. So if you have been thinking in your head that why did things go wrong for Manchester United this season, those are the two key areas that they actually went down, that they actually declined this season. Any other thing last season till now, they have been if you look at those key metrics, they have performed especially well. Progressive passes has been good. Pressing it has improved.
It does not tally with the result on pitch.
That is
statistics. Statistically also, you can place a debate that this is the worst season United have had in their history.
Yeah, definitely. That is why I factor it to say that defending has been terrible and physicality has been terrible as well.
They concede a lot of cutback goals where the opponents run into this channel and pass the ball back into. They've conceded a lot of cutback goals to add to your defensive distinct. But you trying to use the data to paint a good season for them. Statistically,
it's not a good season.
Average. An average season. Now, you trying to use data to paint an average season for them. You can also go deep if we want to go into this. We can go into a 2 hours debate of how statistically United, this is the worst United team they've had in over 20 to 30 years.
There are some positives to take from the season for them.
This won't be the worst thing if eventually we get an FA Cup.
Get the FA Cup. I think it will be a better season than Arsenal's.
It will just be, just like I said, it will just cover the bad things.
It will keep masking. It will keep masking, and that has been one problem at United. Masking problems other than deal with it for what it is.
I think it's just about that defending and the physicality that they lost in the team. So yes, Let's go to Newcastle United. Good, average, bad. Average.
They had an average season
For the standard
the standard they set and the Champions League group they were in. It was like a group of death. And I watched each and every of their game. I saw how they made life difficult. It was a dying minutes miracle PSG needed from Newcastle for Newcastle not to qualify and all of that. So I feel like they had an average season considering their injury issue and where they were last season. They still qualified for European sport this season. Yeah, they qualified.
No.
Conference League.
Yeah. I think that would be a factor if Man United win the FA Cup. If Man United should win the FA Cup, I think Chelsea will be going to the Europa League. Then Newcastle will then go to the Conference League. Man United will join them in the Europa League.
But whichever way, they got something from a European sport, and for me, that is an average season for the club of their level and the kind of project they're trying to build.
Yeah, I think for me, I'll just give them an average season as well because of the injuries. The injuries were much. I didn't know they will be able to cope with it because that's what Tayank keeps telling us. Injuries have been affecting us.
Yeah, at the point, they had to use Kraft, who haven't played for over 2 years, or almost 2 years. They had to use him. And you saw a certain 16-year-old Luis Miley starting against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League.
And Luis Miley keeps starting game over and over and over. There was a time that they keep starting the same 11 for over.
Why over? He could not even substitute.
More than 5 games. So I think it's an average season for them. Let's go to Nottingham Forest.
They had a very bad season.
Now
I'm heading somewhere. It's not an agenda. For a team that have spent so much with their recruitment, like you are playing Dream League soccer. They have gotten some of the best talents around. You look like the likes of Movello, that's the defender, the likes of Sangare, and a whole lot of recruitment. Divock Origi is also there. Chris Wood is also there, and all of that. I feel like with their recruitment and you coming to battle for relegation, even if they deducted your points, you were still around there. I feel like it's a bad season for Nottingham Forest.
It's a bad season, because I can see they finished 17th. Yeah, I think 17th.
So I would just say it's a bad season because I don't expect Nottingham Forest to still be struggling to be in relegation battle. Why? After you have some good players in the team that you can point out that this is a good player. Morgan is White. He's such a very good player. He's on the radar of many top European teams. So I think it's a very bad season for Nottingham Forest. A very bad one. Let's go to Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham Hotspur, for the level they are and where they are coming from, they had an average season. They should be okay with their Europa League spots. They had an average season.
Average season. Okay, West Ham United.
Where did they finish?
I guess they finished 9.
They finished 9th, top half of the table after being a champion, and then they were so bad at the European stage, and you were knocked out by Leverkusen, a miracle running Leverkusen. So I feel like they had an average season. Despite a good season, they lost Declan Rice also, one of their key players. Yes. So I feel like West Ham had a good season.
Yeah. For me, I would say it's a good season as well because at least they got the semi-final of the Europa League,
losing to Bayern
Leverkusen, who are very, very good run. Last but not the least, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Wolves?
Yeah.
They've been up. It's like they've not been in the Premier League. Like, no one is even noticing whether they are doing something or they are not.
Where did they end?
I think they ended
bottom half of the table, 100%.
14th. They had an average season.
There have been no noise about Wolves this season. And we all know what Wolves.
During the start of the season.
What would a good season have been for Wolverhampton Wanderers? Let's be honest.
It's finishing top half, actually, to be honest.
Top half? Do you think Wolverhampton would have predicted Wolverhampton to finish
then again, injury affected their season.
I wouldn't have predicted Wolves to finish top half.
Injury affected because they started very well. Gary O'Neill did a good job utilizing the talents he has. You see the likes of Atinori, Pedro Neto at a point was leading the assist chart before he got his usual sabbatical leave and all of that. But I feel like they have an average season. Average season.
Well, I'll just say they've had a good season because I think Wolverhampton Wanderers are just a mid-table team. Let me just put it that way. I would say they had a good season. I don't expect much from them. To me, I'll just say they had a good season. And you can also join the conversation as well. These are all the top 20 Premier League teams, all the 20 Premier League teams that participated for the 2023-2024 season. So you can join the conversation as well. Give us your take on it. Which one of them has a good season, average season, and a bad season? We want you to join the conversation. Remember, this is football or nothing. It is not about us. It is about we here and you watching at home. We want you to join the conversation. Make sure you tap the subscribe button to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on the bell notification icon And from myself and my guys, we want to say a very big thank you for dedicating your time to watch this very wonderful episode of Football or Nothing. Thank you very much. We can't thank you less because you are taking your time to watch us week in, week out. And you are the reason why we keep doing this every day. God bless you. And from myself, my name is T. Kenny. And H2O is also signing out with me. And Prosper is also signing out with me as well. So till we see you guys on the next episode of the podcast, you stay cool.